Okay, so hi everybody. A couple of you left comments to say that you wanted me to do a tutorial on how to make the avocado balls that I showed you in my video last week. So here it goes. These are just the basic ingredients that you are going to be needing. We start with the fresh ingredients, your avocados of course, chives, hot peppers. I usually use the West Indian hot peppers, but I couldn't find them, so I'm just substituting them. But you can also use what we call seasoning peppers, which aren't hot but will give flavor if you can't deal with the burning sensation. Lime, fresh lime, paprika, that's what it's called. Black pepper, well, not fresh ingredients anymore, but still. Curry powder. I like to add a little cayenne pepper, but that's optional. I also keep a little garlic powder for good measure, although I actually also use fresh garlic cloves. So today I'm going to be using about 7 of them. I've actually forgot the onion, 1 onion. And of course your cassava flour, so I'm just going to give you a little close-up on how that looks. See, it's different from wheat flour. It's more of it has coarser grains, as you can tell. Some oil. I'm just using regular sunflower oil, but you can also use olive oil. I used olive oil before, that works fine too. This is salted cod, but it's more of the fresher variety and not the dried salted fillet. I left it to soak overnight, and now I'm going to boil it for maybe about 10 minutes or so, just to cook the fish and also to remove any excess salt that may be left. I mean, you don't want all the salt to be out, but you don't want it to be so salty that you don't taste anything else. So if you use the dried variety, you may have to boil a little longer, or you may have to boil twice. Always taste after the first boiling, because you don't want to boil all the salt out of it either and then have to add more salt afterward. You may also have noticed that I have music going on in the background. For me, that's a must when I'm cooking. And I forgot to mention what I did for the avocados. Since when I bought them, I asked for ripe ones, but I wasn't sure that they gave me them properly ripe as I would have liked, because I like to have the avocados very ripe, not rotten, but ripe enough, because I crush them, as I'll show you, with a fork. I crush them by hand. You can also use a food processor, but I don't. There is one, but I just don't want to use it. What I did to help ripen them, ripen properly, is to put them in a paper bag with a couple of bananas and just leave them for a day or 2. Okay, so I am about to put the fish to boil. I squeezed some lime juice onto the fish before I put it to soak, and just added water from the tap, regular water. Now I'm going to boil it and keep the lime in there. It's going to cut off the fresh smell of the fish, and yes, so I'm going to boil that, and while I boil, I'm going to take care of chopping the fresh ingredients and preparing everything. Now when it comes to getting the fresh garlic done, this little trick I will show, probably everybody knows it, but I didn't know it until a couple of years ago. I'm going to try to do this as best as I can with one hand. Take the flat part of the knife, the end, and you press it down with the heel of your palm, and it kind of crushes the garlic a little bit, and that makes it easier to just peel off this husky part. Garlic can irritate some people's stomachs. Some people are very sensitive to it, and to help alleviate those problems, what you can do is to remove this center part that looks like a little sprout. Right, remove that. See what it looks like? You remove that from the center of the clove, and then you only use this part, what's left. Okay, so the seasoning preparation is coming along well. I've already chopped up the chives over here. I grated the garlic, and now I'm about to grate the onion. If you're going to grate them, don't cut off the ends. because otherwise the layers just go falling off everywhere and it's harder to keep them together when you're grating. So yeah, take my advice and keep the ends on. So the onions have been grated. Now with the peppers, you want to be really careful, especially if you don't know just how hot they are. A lot of the substance that causes peppers to burn, as you may already know, is concentrated in the seeds. So what I basically like to do is to remove the seeds from the peppers. So you seed your peppers and then you're gonna cut them up and try and dice them up as finely as possible, but try to limit contact with your bare skin, because the pepper doesn't just burn your mouth, it actually burns your skin. And if you do touch the peppers with your hands, do not rub your eyes, don't touch any other part of your body. Wipe off your hands on a paper towel or something. Do not wash them right away, because the water actually activates the substance that causes the burning, so it actually exacerbates the burning. So if you're very sensitive to that kind of thing, you might want to wear gloves. I'm not going to wear gloves. I'm just going to try and keep holding the pepper by the stalk and try to maneuver the knife so I can get all the seeds out with minimal contact with the actual pepper. Okay, so the fresh ingredients have been prepared. I've taken the saltfish off the fire after boiling it once. I used 1/4 kilo. Okay, so funny story. The avocados I kept them too long. I should have done this yesterday and they were all rotten. So I had to run down to the nearest fruit vendor and get some more. Now what I did is to basically cube them and squeeze some lime juice. I used 3/4 of a lime. You could use just half a lime, but this one isn't very juicy, so plus I don't want to just have 1/4 of a lime in the fridge, so I used it all up. But try to avoid getting the seeds and the pulp in if you can. So what you do, you take your fish and you just basically break it up. You shred it into smaller bits in a skillet. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so the fish has been shredded. I overcooked it a bit because it was all crumbly, but that's okay. And what I did was to add all the fresh ingredients, and now I have everything simmering over a low to medium flame. What I'm going to do is to just drizzle a little oil, a little sunflower oil, over the whole mixture and let the fish sort of absorb all the flavors of everything and let it all come together. And then I'm going to add the other stuff little by little. I forgot also to mention that among my seasonings I also use, okay, I'm using the oil now, I also use dried parsley. The fresh one is better, but I don't have any of that now, so I just use the dried one.